And well guys, we have yet another AMD video, and I know that lots of you guys are telling me or will tell me that in the recent days it has been all AMD, AMD this, AMD that, AMD something. I mean, it's not my fault that AMD has been on a rampage. Apart from the Int 8 version of FSR4 that you can now use on your RX 6000 and 7000 series cards, we have several driver versions alongside ROCM updates on Windows. Meaning that productivity-wise, the RX 7000 and 9000 series RDNA 3 and RDNA 4 are getting most likely huge performance uplifts. But well, let's start with a post from X, and I usually follow some posts from Osvaldo. So Osvaldo, if you're watching this, thank you very much for doing the posts that you do, and let's read a bit about it. But before, let's know what my little dog has to say about this. Or maybe Nino has something to say as well. So I guess the dog is gonna click into today's sponsor. Today's video sponsor is SDK More, bringing you lots of software deals like Windows 10, Windows 11, Office 2019 or 2021 with a new Windows 11 design, and for all of these you can use my SKG discount code for 30% off, getting a Windows 11 serial key for $22 and a Windows 10 one for only $15. Then use the key on your Windows settings and you'll have an activated system. So, Osvaldo says, was today some deadline for next perf reviews at AMD? They released a record number of GPU drivers and related tech. 3 previews, 1 production, starting with the latter. New Linux Drivers nuke, AMD Vulkan and AMF and some hardware support, including ROCM 6.4.4. So, Linux Drivers came out today, great, which is great. Second one, we have this Adrenaline preview supports everything in the new stable DX12 Agility SDK plus some older items, advanced shader delivery, and we'll get there, SER, dummy as they have no hardware, I don't really know what is SER, sorry, resource opts, and co-op vectors should be a bad edit / leftover, ASDK delayed this again. And we have more things about ROCM, but let's go into the Agility SDK. And what this basically does is that Microsoft, AMD and other studios and other developers are trying to get rid of the shader loading stutters and sometimes get rid of the whole shader compilation issue like we saw before. And I guess it's better to start from the beginning because, I mean, it's completely fine. You have enough power, you have everything, you just need to wait a bit. As soon as you go into handheld devices and so on, the time and the power of the battery that it takes to load the shaders is kind of an issue. You either have the shaders loading there, or you have the shaders loading as you proceed into the game, as you play the game itself. And what happens is that when the shaders load as you play the game, most times you'll have the shader cache loading stutters, meaning that when you're traversing or when you're playing a specific part, you'll have a stutter because the shader is loading, but as soon as you go back and play the same exact part, it won't stutter because the shader of that part is already loaded. Again, you either have the shader loading at the beginning or loading while you're playing. But the advanced shader delivery gives you the third and best option, which is basically you download a precompiled shader pack, eliminating the in-game shader compilation stutter and long load times like I said before. This solves one of the biggest pain points on PC gaming today, making it easier than ever to deliver a console quality experience on Windows. Now we all know that consoles in terms of gaming performance aren't that great because of course they're consoles, but when it comes to shader compilation issues and to smoother gameplays, they do deliver, and they usually deliver in that same scenario because when developers make a game for that specific console, they know that they are making a game for that specific hardware, so they optimize and they pre-compile the shaders for that specific hardware. So when you're downloading the game, you already have those shaders precompiled, and that's basically what they're trying to do here with the advanced shader delivery for the PC games. Advanced shader delivery is coming on October 16th to the new ROG Xbox Ally, so it's coming to the handheld devices as well. And we're happy to share some of the tooling that allowed us to enable the first step towards solving long load times and of course stutter in games for players. Gamers who own these devices receive pre-compiled shaders at download time on select titles to start gaming faster, so it's not for all titles, but for some, at least for now. but it will come, it will keep coming for more titles and more. In today's blog, we will focus on the other side of the equation, game development. If we go to the bottom here, we have offline compilers. After collecting SODBs, the next step is to use offline compilers to precompile shaders. These are offline in a sense that the compilation happens outside of the target game process and does not use or require a GPU. In other words, the offline compilers convert the SODB inputs into a precompiled shader output that can target a wide range of hardware from a single plugin, without needing that physical hardware presented in your PC. So basically they give you a precompiled shader pack that works with most hardware, at least most hardware inside maybe a series. So instead of doing a precompiling for that specific card or for that one, they give you a pack of precompiled shaders for that specific game that work with a lot of cards. Or that will work with a lot of cards, maybe needing to load one shader or two there, but generally it will work. And we also have this part saying some independent hardware vendors have an offline compiler game developers can start testing today to compile shaders, while others will be coming soon. And basically the only one that we have so far is from the Agility SDK from AMD, because that same ROG LIX handheld device uses AMD hardware, so that's normal. As for AMD, we have Intel, Qualcomm, and Nvidia. They will have those precompiled shaders as well. But for now, it is only for AMD. And as soon as we go into the AMD software Agility SDK Developer Preview Edition 25.10.07.01, we have, for example, highlights with expanded Agility SDK support. AMD Radeon RX 7000 and 9000 series graphics products will support advanced shader delivery. Target AMD's plugin DLL directly using plugin your path. So this file, which is one of the files that you use when you try to enable FSR4 on the older RX 6000 series to make it work properly, it will work with the DLL in terms of shader cache delivery and so on. Interesting. Fence barriers, shader execution reordering. We also have only AMD Radeon RX 7000 series graphics products will support video encoding update to DDI112 with the following features: video encode subregion notifications, video encode GPU texture input QP map, video encode dirty map full frame skip, and video encode GPU texture / CPU buffer motion vector hints. As for the RX 9000 series graphics products, we now have cooperative vectors, but again, according to Osvaldo, it seems that this is an error, this shouldn't be here. And going to Osvaldo's post, we have the third one, another Adrenaline preview linked here, support for Pytorch on Windows, also based on ROCM 6.4.4, I'm still waiting for ROCM 7 though, but not sure what's the status of full ROCM support. This thing supports both RDNA Plus GPUs, meaning RDNA 3 and RDNA 4, and Ryzen AI CPUs. The real stuff, native execution, not Windows Linux subsystem, meaning that we finally have some things working on Windows in terms of productivity, Pytorch working on Windows natively without the need of Linux subsystem support. Finally! And going into the AMD software Pytorch on Windows Preview Edition 25.20.01.14 release notes, we have AMD saying that they are pleased to announce preview support for Pytorch on Windows, bringing high-performance machine learning capabilities to a broader range of developers. The Pytorch on Windows Preview works with select AMD Radeon graphics products and AMD Ryzen processors listed below. And one of the things that we didn't have before with ROCM is that the applications wouldn't work natively on Windows, meaning that in order to extract the full potential of the AMD cards regarding things like Blender and some other applications like sometimes LLMs, large language models, image generation like Stable Diffusion and so on, sometimes with some models you would need to go into the Linux subsystem, and now AMD is finally focusing on productivity, and they're bringing ROCM to Windows natively, meaning that you don't need to use any kind of Linux subsystem anymore in order to bring the full potential of the AMD cards on Windows. That's awesome. As for the highlights, we have support for comfy UI image generation workflows, Python 3.12 support, and the Pytorch on Windows preview works with most diffusion and LLM models, and the following models have been specifically validated by AMD. As for the diffusion models, we have Flux 1.Schnell, SD3, which is Stable Diffusion 3, Stable Diffusion 3.5 XL Turbo, and sadly, in applications like ProCyan, they are still using Stable Diffusion 1.5, so I can't really measure the performance difference, but I believe that I can use something like Amuse and test it to see if it is really faster, because Amuse does have Stable Diffusion 3 and Stable Diffusion 3.5. So now, in theory at least, Stable Diffusion should be much faster on the RX 7000 and 9000 series GPUs, since we have full Windows support like natively with ROCM. That's great. As for the LLMs, we have DeepSeek R1, Distill Qwen 1.5b, well, this is a big one, Llama 3.13b Instruct, and Llama 3.11b, 1b Instruct. And again, as for the ProCyan benchmark kit, I believe that I only have the Llama 2 or 2 point something, so it's really hard to test, but I will look into it for sure. And you can download these drivers right now. You can just go here, AMD Software Pytorch on Windows Preview driver, and just download it and use it. So if you are a big fan of Pytorch, or if you use a lot of productivity with your AMD card, just download these drivers, because you're most likely going to have a big performance uplift. So I'm just letting you know. But if you already installed the drivers, if you tested it and you had a big performance uplift, leave your comment in the comment section, because I really want to know, really. So we have new Linux drivers, we have the new Agility SDK drivers for the developers as well, so for the shaders and so on, and we also have HIP Ray Tracing 3.0, and according to Osvaldo, and this is one thing that I know because Osvaldo knows much more than I do in this specific scenario, and he says HIP R3 3.0. This major updates adds optimization that takes advantage of RDNA 4 features like OBB, which I don't really know what that means. Now you need to wait until softwares like Blender integrate this new version. I have no idea how much of a performance uplift this can bring, but at least it will bring a performance. Going into Blender, if you are already using HIP RT, your performance will be considerably better, and of course if you are using now the newest features, at least regarding RDNA 4, because RDNA 4 is kind of underperforming in Blender as of now, using OBB and so on, it should, in theory, give you better performance, which is great again for productivity. ROCM plus HIP Ray Tracing 3, now maybe they do have some time to focus on FSR4 for Vulkan, because that's one of the Achilles heels that they have right now. No FSR4 for Vulkan. And well guys, that's all for this video. This is basically software news. I'm not really giving you anything specifically, I'm not testing anything because I didn't have time to. I will release, or I will try to release today, still today, or maybe tomorrow, yeah, the DDR5 5600 versus 6000 versus 6200 versus 6400, tested on the Ryzen 7 9700X plus the Ryzen 9 7900X 3D, in order for us to see if the RAM frequencies and timings, because I'm also testing the timings, very important, improved sub-timings, which really matter a lot, and I'm testing on a CPU without 3D cache and one with 3D cache at 2 resolutions, 1080p and 1440p, to see how things go, and of course in many games, so yeah. But well, as for today's video, that's all. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, leave your comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these drivers. Again, if you tested the Pytorch drivers, if you tested the Agility SDK drivers, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know how they perform. Let me and the community know how they perform, because I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that I want to know, but I'm pretty sure that the community wants to know as well. So thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Cheers.